It's Wednesday. It's 5 Minute Rehab Day. Come on in, come on in. This is Taisha Presley, the owner and the founder of Legacy Empowerment Services. We are a mental health private practice. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we work with adolescents and young adults who have experienced some type of dysfunction and want to rehabilitate their lives. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope that you had an amazing summer. I hope that you are ending the summer the way that you desire for it to end. And I hope that you have an amazing fall. It's been a long time since I've been on, and so I'm so happy to be back. And I wanted to talk about the one strategy that we sometimes neglect that can actually help you to rehabilitate your life, okay? And this is coming off of the heels of me attending this amazing faith-based conference called the CEO Arise Conference, hosted by my forever business coach, Otesia Johnson. If you're not following her, you may want to go do yourself a favor and go follow her. She is at OR Johnson on Instagram and on Facebook. So she does a little bit of everything. It's just about life success over there, okay? But you want to follow her because she will drop the details probably next year about this next CEO Arise conference, which I know will be an amazing experience for anyone that attends. Okay, so this conversation that we're going to have today is on the heels of that amazing experience that I had. And one of the beautiful things about attending that conference was that there were so many people in the room. There were people from different walks of life, from different cities. There was a couple from Alaska, a mom and a daughter pair from Alaska. I've never met anyone from Alaska before, okay? And so there were so many people that make much money, make no money at all, just getting started in business, been established in business. There were just so many people in the room. And that is a beautiful thing, because there's this thing that happens when you've experienced trauma, when you've experienced dysfunction. And that is, we begin to believe patterns that have come into our life, patterns that we've lived. Our lived experience begins to reinforce certain thoughts that we believe. And if we're not careful, those thoughts that have been reinforced in the patterns that we believe and live out, they will start to actually make us live out patterns in our life that actually no longer work for us. And that's why we need to rehabilitate our lives. And the way that you do that, if you have believed reinforced lies, so to speak, the way that you rehabilitate your life is by exposing yourself to greater amounts of the truth. So you want to disbelieve what you have believed. And you do that by exposing yourself gradually to the opposite of what you actually believed. And that can come in so many different forms. But I want to talk about that, because what happens is that because we have believed it for so long, it begins to kind of be like a stronghold in our life. The beliefs that we think, the patterns that we live, they begin to be strongholds that don't want to let us go. And our brain literally wants to heal itself. It wants to be different, but we have to remind it that it is safe enough to do the changing that it desires to do. And that is through being safe, and that is through gradually exposing yourself to the truth. And so, wow. And one of the things that happen when you expose yourself gradually to the truth, bigger amounts of the truth, is that it begins to allow yourself to experience what we call dissonance. So dissonance is kind of the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. The gap between what you believe and what you don't believe. It is that uncomfortable feeling that kind of pulls you and kind of works with you to kind of get you to bring yourself into an alignment that is different from where you are. So dissonance would be when you believe something that you believe for a long time because of your trauma, because of your dysfunction, and now you expose yourself to the truth, and you're like, okay, I believe this, but what I want to believe is here, and it feels uncomfortable. And that begins to wear on you. It begins to work on your thought system. It begins to kind of marinate in your mind. And believe it or not, just that dissonance is what can help pull you into the new way of being. And then the other part of it is that once you have been exposed to greater amounts of the truth, one of the most amazing things is that now you get to see a model. That's why it's important to be in the room. That's why it's important to expose yourself to something different from you. It's because sometimes we don't know what the new needs to look like. We don't know what it should be. We don't know how it should be. And just by being in a different place, being around other people, you get to expose yourself to kind of a role model that you can begin to kind of not emulate, but you begin to think about, well, how does what I see fit into who I want to be, where I want to be? And you find that way for yourself. You make that way based on where you want to be and based on what you see. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of exposing yourself to different parts of the truth, to greater amounts of the truth, is that when you surround yourself with new people, new situations, new experiences, you begin to develop a support system. And that support system is what helps you to undergird your change, because they can kind of supervise you, they can kind of oversee you, they can coach you, they can guide you, they can mentor you, they can just be a support. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing that you need actually in order to relate to other people, because I always believe that we heal and we become whole in community. Why we don't want to do it is because it feels uncomfortable, but you gotta do it. And so I want to encourage you today to use that strategy of gradually exposing yourself. So what you can do is you can identify what are the things that have been reinforced in my life, the thoughts that have been reinforced in your life that are no longer true for you. And you know that it's no longer true because when you live out that lie, when you live out that thought, it feels uncomfortable for you. Even though you don't want to change it, it feels uncomfortable for you. That's how you know the difference. And so what you do is you ask yourself, okay, well, what is something that is more realistic for me to believe? What is a pattern, a new way of being that I can actually live? And those are the things that you want to begin to slowly incorporate into your life. And so that is what you want to do in order to help yourself rehabilitate your life. Bye-bye.